after installing Python, so you have to come to your search bar. Sorry, I'm writing search again. Write IDLE. Now, IDLE is Integrated Learning Environment. That's what it means in Python. So it's Integrated Learning Environment. So from the name, you know that this is where I can learn code. So you see, it give me a window, and in the window, just take note because we have another window that might look different from this. So you see we have file, edit, shell, debug, option, window, and blah blah blah. So normally when we install, what we just install is called Python interpreter. Yeah, Python interpreter is interpret code. So but before I will go further and explain more other things, I want to share a little light on this word programming and coding, which they are sounding the same thing, but while I don't know, to some extent, yeah, they are the same thing. So when we say programming, programming is just an act of giving instruction to the computer. Instruction, they said, and computer never disobey instruction. So it is an act of giving instruction to the computer, and then computer obey all the time. So if you see that your code or your program goes wrong, it doesn't act the way you wanted it to act, it's because you didn't write the code correctly, and the computer doesn't have an emotional intelligent memory that you say, okay, the computer should know what I wanted to do. The computer should, at least the way we usually judge people, usually have the insight of what somebody meant. Maybe sometime even before they say it, we will say, we might look at somebody's face and understand what they meant or what they are trying to express. But computer follow instructions. So if you are a programmer, if you instruct computer that if I come to my door, if I doesn't have ID card, or if I doesn't have certain condition, or if I doesn't meet certain condition, I should not pass. Computer doesn't know you as his boss or somebody that own the house. Computer will just deny you access to that house. So coding, programming, I said, giving instruction to the computer. So now computer now understand only zeros and ones. That is how computer is being built from day one. It is to understand zeros and one. So but you, me and you, we cannot understand zeros and one. We cannot even write the code with zeros and one, because that is where the idea of that word code coming from. So the A you are seeing on your computer screen, it has been coded. So that A you are seeing to the computer is not A. The computer is series of zeros and one. Maybe some of us are into computer. We learn about ASCII code. So it is coded there. To the computer, it is zeros and one actually, but to you it is letter A. So that is why the idea of computer language, computer programming languages came up, where those languages, we call them high level language, which is human natural language, our human natural language, Spanish, English, Yoruba, Hausa, and You can mention a lot. So we, with the help of these programming languages, that we can write code in high level language, they call it high level language. Then we write code in high level language. Then we have something in between. We call them compilers or interpreter. Those compilers or interpreter now will convert it to the language that computer understand. That language that computer. Some programming languages are based on interpretation, while some are based on compilation. But for Python, it has been controversial whether Python is based on compilation or interpretation. But when you take a look at the execution model of Python, in the stages there is compilation and then there is interpretation. Because Python is based on C language implementation, because all these languages they came, for you to even come up with a language, you have to write it on another programming language. So Python has been implemented from C. That is the implementation of Python came from C programming language. So there is this compilation stages in the execution model of Python, where the Python script has to be compiled into a PYC file. So that package is called PYC. It's based on C Python. We call it C Python. So it is compiled. Then it is that compiled package now that will go into interpretation. So, and the difference between interpreted language and compiled language is interpreted language interpret the code line by line. Line 1 executed, line 2 executed to the end of the file, while compiled language like Java, it will compile all the file as one package, then it will execute it. So that is it. For Python is interpreted, but it is still compiled to some extent too. It's a compiled language and still is interpreted. So, and then another thing is that when a language is interpreted language, for the code to run, the system you have to run that code supposed to have the interpreter. So, but the compiled one, as you have already compiled it, that's why sometimes you will see a Java file will always have that jar file that they are compiling into. When you compile your Java file into that jar file, so you can run it on any system. So, but Python, even though you are compiling it, it will get compiled or interpreted with the interpreter inside. So let me not get too deep into that. I'll just give you insight of what certainly you have to have the background of some concepts. So now, to learn every programming language, you have to get the interpreter or compiler. So what we have installed now is interpreter for the Python. So and in every language, so to learn English, when we enter our nursery classes, the first thing they could teach us then was A, B, C, D, blah 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 to Z. Now, after then they'll teach us how to join A and B to give us words. Now, when we join them to give us words, later they'll ask us to join words to give us sentences. Now, in programming, we have that something of such, but it might look logical or something, it might look abstract to you, but in programming, we have not even in programming, let me say, even the language, we have what we call lexis, semantics, lexis, syntax and semantics. Lexis, syntax and semantics. So lexis is just like let's say the alphabet, the word, the alphabet that make up a language. A language, we have in English we have A, B, C. In Arabic we have alif, ba, ta, sa, and to the end. So in programming language we still have them as that. We have the lexis. So in terms of programming language, it will be like some keywords that will give you the lexis. That is just like the dictionary of just like in our dictionary we have all these words. They are coming from all the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so forth. Such in programming, what you have to use on the program to code should be something that is inside that lexis of the language. That is just like the dictionary of the language. It shouldn't be outside that. So, and all of these lexis of the programming, they borrow it from from English, to like the words, the alphabet. Programming with Python is very easy. So because you will be seeing many things as just English words. So the syntax is just like the rules guiding the language. That okay, you have to join in English. You have to just say, okay, if I want to write this is a boy, you have to write it like that. This is a boy. You cannot say boy this a or a this boy. You understand? You cannot say that. You have to say this is a boy. That is a correct, semantically correct sentence. Now syntax goes like that. Then semantics is just the meaning that group of words is trying to portray. That is the semantics. That is the meaning of it. So semantics is the meaning of it. So the dictionary, the word, the sentence have to be correct. The lexics have to come from the language. The syntax has to be the rules the language has put in place for the program to make meaning. So that is where it will give you the semantics. So now in Python, we are going to write our first program today, and then maybe we'll get deep into the language in our next video. So Python first language. So get ready to be a programmer today and to be a coder. And with commitment, the sky will just be your starting point. So I'm going now. Watch. Now you see I write print. Now even before I could continue the window or the program, the software, let me just call it the software, just show me some suggestion. You see now it's giving you just what I just spoke about. Now is if you follow the syntax, sometimes it will even help you. So you see it's giving me, when I write print, open bracket, you see close bracket, then the first thing there should be value, dash, there is another we call it argument. So there is another one, you see them there. So with time we'll come see all of this. So but now let me go with the value. You see value there. So which value am I going to put? Now we are printing hello world to the screen. close it as it says. So now you see, this is our first line of code in Python. This is lexically, syntactically, and semantically correct. Yes, so to run it, here I have to press enter. Now, yes, the first line there was input. That is, I will call it the high level language that we spoke about, human readable or human understandable language, which is you can read it there. There is no any zeros and one, there is no any symbol that you say you have never seen is there. All these things, I think they came from your English language that you are used to. So this is it. Print hello world. You just tell the computer print hello world, and the computer have given you what you have given it. That is why we call computer garbage in, garbage out. So it has printed hello world. So this print now, when we are talking about the syntax, or let me say this, the lexis, the syntax and semantic that we talked about earlier, you see the syntax is that okay, if you get something to your monitor or to print something to the screen, use print. After you have written the print, give it bracket there. So after the bracket, what you want to print should go in between those brackets. So the syntax said that when you want to print something to the screen, you have to write print, then rounded brackets, then what you want to be printed, what you want it to be printed to the screen, then put it in between those brackets. Now, hello world is what we want, and we get it. Now, this is to show you that the information you want to get has to come in between those two brackets. So let me try something now. I'll just still tell the computer, okay, I need something different. I need just one, two, like this. Say print. Now, give me two. So don't mind the environment. Maybe it's not looking very attractive, or the environment is not looking good for you. Now it's just for the start. As time goes on, we are installing other software that we can write our code in. They are very, very user friendly, and then they are very, very attractive, and you have so many functions that you can find in them. So now this is it. This is our first program, and then I think for now you have to find the beauty in Python. Python is very easy to start. If to say this is a program like Java, I think you have to write about, let me see, how many lines of code before you get this hello world, because you have to write class. After the class, you have to write the method, and then inside the method you have to get some argument with some curly bracket. But Python just say one line, then I have gotten my hello world. So today is to just install Python, and then at least we have written our first program. So join us as we get into the business proper. So in our next video, we are going to show you how to write the program in a proper interpreter, like not this shell. This one is just a shell. But in our next video, we are going to have a file. You have to create file to write code in it. So we are working with it through file, not through this console. It's just a console, is a command prompt that you just write, it give you your result there. So watch out for our next video. Watch out for many more videos to come from this channel. As we stated earlier, this channel we are going to learn Python and Java. For those that said Java is difficult and blah 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 blah, but with commitment, and then when you open your mind, nothing is difficult. You just take practice, and you will improve. So thank you very much for watching.